Okay, so sounds we've had a little bit of a chat ahead of time, so we just
Mm,
clicked on the recording. We're going to do self-inquiry, at least as a starting place. You're very familiar with inquiry,
yeah.
so I'm just going to do a quick screen share. Okay, you should be seeing a blank. I think I might actually use the template, David, on this one.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, so this should come up so you can see it. Do you have any color preference on the content, the color I do the content in?
No.
No. Okay. So as you know, with this template, we start somewhere and then we meet everything.
Yeah.
And it'll step-by-step shift. And at the very end, we'll be to another kind of state, probably. Uh, so I'll just plunk your name in here. What are we? Feb 27,
Mm,
2025, end of February. Uh, it, in the little preamble that we had, you started to share some feelings. So
yeah.
kind of feeling a little bummed, if I'm remembering the terminology right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anything
But
else you would say? Yeah.
what I did, I just got my another one of my yoga books out from my favorite teacher, and I did some meditation, just paying attention to my breath and
Great.
counting backwards from 50 with every breath, and um, loving, loving what he says. It's just like the stuff before, um, I don't know. Let me try to find this. Oh. Anyway, he talks about the core of goodness. That's the second chapter. Like
Mm,
we're all good, you know, at our core. Um, oh, and then it requires tremendous courage,
mm.
willingly to release all of your or firmly held beliefs and face ourselves directly. Courage is required because we don't know what we'll find. And, I think I've started doing that, but I'm finding all this crap. And um,
Yep.
part of me knows there's some good stuff in there, but
Yeah.
it comes out when I'm at times and like,
I'm going to slow you down.
okay,
Yeah. Because it's arrived, right? So I'm just going to take them in
yeah,
the order that came. So first off, how cool I would say, because breath arrived, right? And you and I have uh, done multiple you've been in multiple containers with me, and I know how important breath is for you, and it's like a shorthand. So wow, isn't it, it's progress? Isn't it amazing that the second thing you're talking about when you contact bummed is breath, and then also the yoga books, right? That you take your spiritual practice from. The core of goodness and courage is what requires. So just me in the bows, right? It's just a shorthand to
yeah,
respect stuff. So I'm just inviting the invitation, should you care to take it, is just, oh, hello. Oh, yeah. Hi, breath and core of goodness and courage. Yes, yes, yes. You are welcome here. And then I know on the heels was crap, right? So we'll go to the other side. Yeah, just breathing into, yeah. So you got the whole yin yang here right in the first line, right? The whole polarity right there. Yeah.
I, I read that thing about it takes tremendous courage to do this, but then I also feel like I don't have any courage because it's so scary.
Okay.
And there's so much pain, and I'm just barely holding it together when I get in my car in the morning and go to work. Just it's all I can do to just hold myself, put on a face, you know, put on happiness or neutrality at least, so I'm not crying every time all over the place.
Oh, yeah. So the put on a face is going to be a manager kind of part, right? Protector.
Yeah,
So just hello to the protector, because most of us in modern day society had to do the whole put on a face thing. And it's kind of impressive if you could. Certainly had my own moments where I look back on various moments, right, where wow, I still like did what I needed to do to take care of some things. So deep bow to that put on the face ability and protector. And then we come into the fear, right? It's scary and the pain.
yeah,
And these are big ones in the human experience for all of us. There's a lot of it in the collective field right now.
yeah,
So I would summon. I know you have allies. So I would
yeah.
invite patient if it feels right, like your future self, anything else that you take um, that has your back, that you feel resourced from, because we're going to go directly meet fear, scary, and pain. So it's nice to have some friends along too, and I'm here as well.
I keep forgetting about future self. Um, maybe I think he's too far away. But then my sister came to mind.
Ah, good.
I
There's your other.
just, um,
Hmm.
I just got a message from my youngest niece, her youngest daughter. My sister's passed. Um, Wanting to get, a certificate. She didn't have her certificate with her but she came to this course, so I made a copy for her. So,
Oh,
um, got to thinking about how my sister was so strong, and then I also wondered, what demons was she dealing with? What was her struggles?
mm.
Um, she seemed perfect in high school, and perfect to my parents and the church that she came through, and family. You know, she wrote, and but
May I put a T on it
sure,
for a sec? Yeah, because there's something that's already arrived to bring potential focus to.
okay,
First off, I want to thank the mind, right? Because as soon as your sister arrived, correct me if I'm wrong, but the mind kind of went to your niece and went to the task you did, and then the pondering, about her,
yeah,
how she, when she was alive, handled life. Because there was again this maybe a put on face, or maybe maybe it wasn't a put on, right? So
yeah,
the mind kind of did its understandable thing. So we're going to thank the mind, right? The mind's
yeah.
always coming from a loving place because it's another protector, the intellect for all of us. Thank you, mind. And we're just asking it to step aside for just a sec. We can still watch, track everything, right? But
Yeah.
your allies have arrived, right? So here's scary and pain, and the invitation was to evoke your allies, and you did it. And future self came, and your sister came. Then there was a little detour with mind. So we're just coming back to your future self and to your sister who
Oh,
arrived to support you in your moment in the now, in the physical. Thank you for their arrival, if that's what's happening. And just taking a moment to just calibrate with them. Anything you notice is you just breathe and say hello to future self and your sister as you're courageously meeting scary pain.
Well, every instance I remember with my sister was wonderful.
So just feeling the wonderful, being in connection with the wonderful,
Yeah.
that vibration and energy, just being with her. And maybe even, I just had the impulse of like holding hands or something, right? Because in a second here, I'm just going to invite you to turn around if you're not already and look at that scary and that pain. So you may, there's also your future self. So maybe you hold both their hands or they flank you, one on either side. Maybe they've got hands at your back. You tell me anything you notice.
Um, I go back to that time where I was outside with my sister and just she was talking or hearing me in some kind of way. I don't even remember what was said, but I remember being heard and being important to her and worthy.
Wow.
Um,
So you're making connection with the essence, this energy, right?
yeah,
Bringing this right here. Just an invitation to just grok with that, right? To marinate in that a little bit. Give your nervous system a chance to just be with being heard and important and worthy. Yes, yes, yes.
mm, because when I try to cry or feel my emotions, my wife is upset at me for being depressed so much. She doesn't want to listen. She starts saying how she's got to do so much and I'm not doing anything.
Hmm.
I'm not contributing hardly anything because I'm so down. And I understand, but it's like I'm taking that on too.
Mhm.
Like I'm believing it. I'm believing I'm unworthy and crappy, and all the things that I've
Sure.
had.
Yep. And there's maybe some of the mind and the intellect again, or it might be the heart that's hurt,
Yeah,
etc. So, but the polarity kind of, you went from worthy and then unworthy popped up, right? So there's
yeah,
a moment there of grokking and being with worthy, and then the yeah, but with what's going on with the circumstances with your wife and how you're feeling, there's the unworthy. So, oi, look at that polarity. Hey, unworthy.
yeah. But one thing that came up about my sister, and recently, and I told my wife, was that there was one of those defining moments. It was nothing but a thought on my part, right? So my sister was young teenager. I was younger, and she was like in a towel or something and kind of squatting down in front of me. And I was able to see between her legs. And so I had this reaction internally and this fantasy feeling. And so um, there was shame involved in it too. So um, it's just one of those times where I've never told anybody before. I spoke to my wife about it.
Mm.
So there seems to be a lot of these things coming up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So here's the opportunity to be with the shame. And you said you were a young teenager.
Well, younger than that. So
So
uh,
how old?
probably 8 to 10. My
Okay.
sister's 6 years older, was 6.
Okay.
Yeah,
So this might be a good time for future self to come in.
yeah.
So just being with the shame, maybe even being the 8 to 10-year-old, you can bring your now adult self and you can bring your future self, and maybe your sister's even here too. What happens is you all join, if that's what wants to unfold, you all join this 8, 10-year-old. You might want to freeze the scene, or not.
Well, it's a natural. I had a natural experience, you know, of seeing a body, and but I guess the feelings were. Well, the feelings were the feelings,
Yeah.
but the
So just
shame
see
was.
how there's the interaction happening with him, right? So if I'm understanding right, your now self, your future self, are really as men, are you're communicating to him, to this 8 and 10-year-old, that hey, that's a natural experience when you see a body, a female body, naked,
Yeah.
even if it's your sister.
Uh-huh.
How does he respond to their perspective?
He listens, he understands,
Okay.
but realizes that shame has been carried with him so long.
Uh-huh.
Um,
And he might be stuck in a moment in time here, right? He's there
yeah.
at that age and that moment. So is it necessary, hey, now adult self, future self, for him to be like Groundhog's Day, kind of stuck there and feeling that shame and emitting it?
No, definitely, it's not good to keep living it, creating it.
So what might be an option instead of him staying there and kind of continuing to feedback loop that, repetition wound that, because you said lots of other things have been coming of a similar nature. This is where the potentially, right? It's, the orphan rescue work. So might be
Yeah.
a rescue in order here. And if it is, where's the place to bring them? Also, I'm aware of your sister. So is there anything that your sister wants to say from her now vantage point as you're coming back at the age you are now, back to when you were 8 and 10 with her? It's kind of an interference, right? When you feel the
Yeah.
worthiness from her, but then the shame stuff comes up. So this shame needs to be dealt with.
Well, maybe my sister was kind of like also like, yeah, this is a natural thing, and um, she wasn't ashamed,
Mm-hmm.
so she seemed to be herself most of the all the time that I knew her. She was just very honest, straightforward.
How is that for him to get how she is about it?
I guess kind of difficult, because since I stopped looking at so much of the porn and stuff, and I had kind of a slip a week ago looking at some Instagram things, and then I stopped myself. It's like I'm sort of putting a block up against anything sexual, you
Hmm.
know, um, because I don't have those feelings hardly anymore. And with this prostate issue, I think it's like that's part of it too.
Interesting. Yeah.
Um, I'm just there's so much fear around sexuality, and that me and my wife haven't been sexual in several years, and then but we still undress in front of each other occasionally. But I look away. I mean, lately I've been thinking about, well, she is very beautiful, has a nice body. It's um, but it's a it's scary to me to even go down that road of being stimulated, you know,
Hmm.
because it's created such shame in myself.
Well, let's check with your allies and see. Thank you. Thank you. Now it's your now adult self who's sharing this, right?
Yeah,
You can kind of turn to the future self and your sister and say, I mean, they've heard everything you've said. So
yeah,
I'm noticing that, I put up this block. I've done this kind of all or nothing around the sexual. Every once in a while, the escapee, pops out, right? The controller's
yeah,
block, and then the looking and doing the Instagram stuff is the escapee for a bit, or the addict. Yeah,
yeah.
is another word for that. Yeah. So what happens is they hear this.
Well, they're listening and they understand and they want to help.
Mhm. Just yes, please to the help, and just seeing as you all kind of put your energetic heads together and hearts together, what can help here?
What can help is that, well, what I was just doing before this, I was just focusing on my breath and who who I am underneath all of this, trying to find out who I am, who I the the core goodness of myself,
Mm.
and allowing that to come out, and trying to release all of the you know lies that I built up because I'm not worthy, or because I don't feel worthy, and lying
Where
to
do you,
myself about that.
where's the block?
Where's the block?
Hmm. because there's shame, because there's been kind of the escapee behaviors, the addiction kind of stuff with the porn, which, as you say, it's been getting better and better in terms of over the last year or a couple of years as you've been doing the different inner work that you've been doing.
Yeah.
But that, this kind of all or nothing block, particularly with your wife, right? And this fear of being stimulated. Maybe we can just say hello to that block and maybe thank it because at its root, right? It's trying to assist doing the all or nothing kind of block. That's pretty impressive. Of course, those controllers can only keep it up for so long and then a escapee will pop out occasionally.
Yeah.
And the escapee, too, in his way, is trying to help and assist this situation because you can't put a block up forever, right? It can't be done just through sheer will. Although it's admirable, there's an aspect that's trying to do that.
Yeah.
So maybe with that block, it might be a time for a gift. The classic gift is to give flowers or something, but you might have another gift just to really honor that block. Maybe also give flowers to that escapee addict who's doing his thing on the Instagram because the block can't be kept forever. Just really appreciating both of them because they're, even if it's not working so hot for you, their heart's in the right place.
Yeah.
So thank you to both of them as they come more into awareness.
Well, this block is basically just blocking off any sexual feelings, visuals. It's like that is like no man's land, you know. So um I had a gift. Well, I go out, what came to mind was I go out and gather sometimes. My wife does too. Little what are those little leaves, little plants that the squirrel likes, and I forgot the name of them, but they're just little leaves that from this flower, little yellow flower, and they're green leaves that he likes to eat. And it's just really a pleasure doing that, gathering them, picking them for him, and watching him eat them. And
Are you doing the same thing for the block? Is that the gift that you're
yeah,
giving?
yeah,
Yeah.
I want to give the block something to feed on, something,
Mm,
nourishing that's healthy.
nice.
So yeah, so I guess that can be a symbol. I don't know of what. Um,
Well, mine's trying to figure it out, but already the symbol's there. So it can
yeah,
just
yeah,
show that the, subconscious gave you right away that. So just see what happens as you give those little shoots, those nourishing
yeah.
plants to the block.
Just have to accept that this block needs nourishment and love too.
Mhm.
And however, I can do it. Um, it's showing my acceptance. I'm showing my acceptance for the block and the squirrel. So,
Yeah, totally.
um,
Yeah, and this is a gift of thanking and nourishing it, right? Appreciating what it's trying to do and protecting you, even
yeah,
though the block thing has its own problems, right, with shutting everything off.
I
And then
know.
there's the prostrate issue that's shutting everything off. So,
I know. What's your problem, block?
well, and check Check with future self because it'll have the
Okay.
jump in consciousness, and your sister might too from her vantage point. I'm curious because this is your now future self or your now self who's wrestling with this, right?
Yeah.
Just seeing it as you give that gift to the block, just see what happens as you give it that nourishing gift of those little plant shoots. Anything you want to let the block know? Anything you want to say to the block?
I care about you and I want you to be, I want you to, you know, keep me safe, but maybe not be so blocky.
Yeah, yeah. Like let's work a little nuance maybe. Yeah. And it's kind of like a negotiation, right? So if you were to negotiate a little with it after you've already thanked it for what it's done and how it's protected you up to now, because it certainly has taken you further than it was before, right? So thank you, thank you. But now, what are you suggesting? What do you lay on the coffee table for it to consider?
Well, to to really begin to feel myself, feel into my innermost being when I breathe, because it seems very difficult to do because of all these crazy thoughts that say even this is a waste of time, even this breathing is a waste of time. And my wife is it's sensitive about that today too. It's like, well, you feel good when you're doing it, but then it's like you're back to depression. And so, and it's like, am I just doing it to get out of
Okay, I'm just going to stop because
being scared?
mine's
Okay.
running.
Yeah.
And nothing wrong with getting out of being scared. If it's
Yeah.
working for you by breathing and getting into your most innermost being, sounds good to me. Uh, Out of all the other options, right? It's like, yeah, this is a good option. But since it's raised up here, there's an invitation to be it right now, right? So just taking
Yeah.
a moment, feeling into your innermost being right now. And if all those kind of thoughts pop in, thank you, thank you. It's some sort of it's the mind again, right? And just coming back to the breath, coming back to your innermost being.
Well,
Yeah, right there.
there's just this rhythm and this movement that is so nice.
Isn't it? Yeah, I could feel it too when it arrived right there. Oh, there it is. Stillness. Yeah.
And
And
it's
Kundalini it is healthy energy. Yeah. So right back in there, being there, agreeing. That's a very accurate description. Yeah, we like this. Hello.
like even that wonderful feeling is has some kind of edgy block around it that is not allowing me to go deeper into it.
Okay. Excellent to know. So let's go say hi to that. Wow, what do you know? There's a block around this too. Interesting.
Yeah.
And we're just being curious, right? Curious and a little playful, and we just say hello to it. Oh, hello. What do you know? We found another block around the entry into my innermost being. Maybe you want to bring it a gift. Maybe it wants some of those nourishing shoots.
Yeah.
Then by all means, bring it that gift with some thanks. Because there's probably some sort of protector nature, how that got set up there. It's trying to protect. Hey, here you go. Not necessary anymore, but thanks for doing it for however long you've been doing it. And just see what happens. We're not making anything happen. We're just naturally seeing what's here.
Yeah. What a question comes up, what is it protecting me from?
Okay, so mine wants to know.
Yeah.
Just see if anybody wants to answer that. I mean, it's a valid enough question from the mind. We could just say, oh, mind and blow mind away. But for whatever reason, I'm kind of like, anybody want to answer that? Mine's like, hey, how come there's a block around my innermost being?
The words it's not safe come up.
Ah, okay. I just felt like awe, compassion, right? Anything that doesn't feel safe, it's fear or whatever, like it's not comfortable usually. So just being with the unsafety, just noticing what happens, just letting it know we're here, we're here. There's a whole kind of crew right here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's arrived in this moment. Hey, how come you're feeling unsafe? Hey, we're here.
Yeah. So my allies are saying we understand you. It's, it's scary to go deeper and because it feels unsafe and unnatural and like, what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you know, you've handled you've handled things before, and I think with our support, we can we can deal with this.
The bringing support. All these allies here, your now adult self, your future self, your sister, myself, bringing that support to this block. I'm feeling the innermost being. It's okay. It's okay. We're here. No rush, just smooth and
Yeah,
steady. Just seeing what happens as that support comes in.
I can feel the comfort of guidance of my allies.
Nice.
Um, and the fear isn't as much. Still there.
Right. Yeah, yeah, but it's come down. So it's responded to the support and being with and your
Yeah.
presence and the comfort and guidance of the allies. Yay.
Because when my mind reads my yoga stuff and seeing that, what is there underneath it all is just basic goodness and love. And
Mm,
I am having a hard time believing that.
hmm
That's the block, I guess. one of them.
It sounds like mine's trying to figure it out, and
Yeah,
it's tracking very well. So you got it, mine. You're tracking great. You're right. You're right. Now, maybe a hand on the heart and a hand on the belly.
but
It's comfortable.
David must have had the experience of this, not just
Ah,
the concept. I want to feel the experience of it so I can move through life loving myself and loving others.
beautiful. Yes, please.
So how how can that happen?
Yeah, just putting it out. It's a
Yeah,
valid enough inquiry. So putting it out to everybody who's here, in particular to this block around the feeling the innermost being, which is basic goodness and love. Hey, I'd really like to be here. Hey, I see there's basic goodness and love in here.
because the other way doesn't work.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like kicking, screaming, and scratching and pain.
right, right. Yeah, that's not going so great. So knock, knock,
Mm.
knock. How about I come in here? Yeah, just seeing, right? Just seeing as it's listening to you and checking you out, and anything that happens is okay. So just anything you notice.
Well, David, you're going to have to practice your breathing and looking within, no matter who says it's not going to help, you
Yeah.
know, because I must get there.
Yeah, they call it for a practice for a reason, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just see what happens as this kind of uh task, this commitment, this practice of breathing and looking within, of doing and being that more, keeping at it no matter how others respond about it. As you say, yes, yes. You can even say, hey, like, come on in more. You want to stretch out in me? We kind of let go of some stuff. We're letting go of the shame about my sister in the towel back at 8 and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a little more room in here for this connection with the innermost self and the basic goodness and love. Just pointing it out to it, there's a little more room. If it liked to, it could stretch out more. And this breathing and looking within, coming more into your life, into your field, and into your body, which is an invitation, just seeing how it responds. If it does respond, it'll move in its own way. So you might notice, it might stretch out, or it might root down or rise up or something else. It has its own intelligence.
You know, I'm, I've got this walking practice every day.
Hmm.
And I missed a little bit when it was cold, but that's kind of a willpower thing, as is getting up out of bed in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So coming to this peaceful place is, stillness is something I need, because all the things that I've heard about it is like it's a very promising place. wonderful gifts and peace.
Mhm. Yes, please. Yes, please. You are welcome here.
And you know, I deserve to feel different about myself. I deserve to realize that, yeah, my core is goodness and I can feel it at times, and I want to feel it more.
Mhm.
And I want to feel it because I want to express it, especially to Misty, because I feel so much love for her, but don't know how to express it. And I'm afraid to. And I
Mhm.
want to find a way for this block to, open up.
So just seeing how it's responding to everything you're communicating and everything that's been unfolding. How's the block doing? How's the prostrate doing too? Because I'm kind of curious about it. Hey, all you kind of tight ones there, blocking ones. How's it going? Is you been along here interacting?
Well, I definitely feel tension in my brow less.
Okay,
My
so
breathing
that's
is, my breathing is deeper.
the what is deeper?
My breathing is
Oh, that's good news. That's a good, yeah, good sign.
calmer and deeper.
Yay, yay. Just checking with future self and with your sister, just because they've got a different vantage point than you and I do. So it's just anything that they want to get in on, anything that happens from them.
Hmm. Kind of hard. Come join us.
Hmm.
Join us. Join us in this, joyful life that you can have. And my sister was so joyful all the time.
Hmm.
I mean, when I saw her. So there's
Mhm.
lots of times I didn't see her, but, but that's my experience of her. And I would love to. And Misty reminds me of that.
Hmm. Nice.
She's singing to the squirrel right now. Can hear, can hear her in the other room.
Aw.
She makes up these little songs. Usually have the word wonderful in them a lot.
Great. So just feeling that joy, I can feel it in my heart. My heart just so loves hearing that.
Yeah.
So wherever you're feeling it in you, just, oh, yes, please. My beautiful, joyful wife singing to the squirrels. I like it.
And she loves me.
Mm.
She loves me in her own way. And even even through all of the stuff that I put her through, it's like God. God is supposedly loves us no matter what.
Mm. Yeah, just breathing into that. Yeah, there you go. Just breathe. Yeah.
I want to know God and I want to know love.
Yes, please.
Because it's so painful blocking myself from that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, please. Yes, please. To God and to love. Yes, please. No thanks to the old coping mechanism with the blocking. No thanks. Yes, please. To God, love, innermost being, basic goodness. Core is good.
What was it?
Core is good. My
Yeah,
core is goodness. Yeah.
yeah. And I gotta, I have this book. My mom, somebody got me a David School Years. I have a photograph of my picture from first kindergarten through 11th grade, and most of them were smiling. So maybe I need to remember that. We even have one of me and one of my wife on the refrigerator of our childhood pictures.
Aw.
So and I see it every time I look in the
Kids
fridge.
together. Sweet.
I need to just gaze at it more.
So yes, please to that because it's communicating with the mind too, right? It's working through the mind because there's such a strong mind, which we all have. So it's good. The mind's getting some visuals, and it's like, look at this more. Yes, please. And we've really been on a journey of connecting with your younger selves, right? So those younger parts, and there it is, right on the fridge, the photo, and of your wife's too. Lovely.
Yeah. And now I have this, I see her like when we were having some pictures done yesterday, we were getting our new photos for our manual and just seeing her be herself and then taking some pictures. The lady took some pictures of just her and she was smiling and she's just so beautiful. And
Mm.
that's something at the beginning of our relationship I couldn't see, you know, I couldn't see that.
Mm.
I couldn't express it.
So a yes, please to the seeing and expressing it now. Yeah.
Uh, so that's what I want to be able to do is express that to her. Because she's been in pain because of the things that I said and didn't say.
Hmm. So just taking it all in and yes, 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 and thank you as the insights have been coming and the realizations have been coming.
Tired of I'm tired of being afraid of everything. I have done a couple things that I've been afraid of recently, but there's still more to go. um, maybe the
Just
fear.
agreeing that there's aversion to that.
What's that?
Just agreeing that there's understandable aversion to that.
Yeah.
that, of course, you don't like it. And there's a preference, right? So the preference and the longing and the vision that's really emerging and coming in now, there's more and more room for it. Of joining in a joyful life and seeing and expressing about her beauty and knowing God and knowing love, connecting with core goodness. Yes, yes, yes. How about this, please? Yes,
Yes.
please. Just checking with where the blocks were. How's that feeling? How's the prostrate area? Anything you're noticing the body at large?
Well, I'm definitely feeling more relaxed. I'm not sure about my prostate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just took got some 2 medications
Ah,
for it, and I took one yesterday and take another one tonight to see.
mhm.
I didn't want to take them at the same time to see if there are any side effects.
Right.
So uh, after this, I'm going to take the other one and see what happens. Um, it could make me drowsy or get
Uh,
or
just see if anything comes up
yeah,
from anybody. It could be now
yeah,
adult self, it could be some younger ones, it could be your allies. But as we just kind of focus on the prostrate and the medication and everything that's happening,
yeah.
just anything that wants to occur, I kind of just feel like a awe, right? The compassion for the physical impact. So anything you notice, even if you don't even fully know, we probably do where it is or whatever, but just kind of, we can, everything is consciousness, so we can communicate totally with the prostrate. So just seeing
Okay.
anything you get as you just say, hey, I'm here and I'm looking out for you because I'm splitting up these medications because I want to see how it is for you.
Well, the doctor was really nice. He said, he said, you know, first of all, you have to be in charge of your health. You have to take some steps in this process. He can't do everything. So
Hmm.
he kind of went through plan of like some things I need to do, and it made sense. Um, so I was having this fear because I was having some blood in my urine. That's why I went to the doctor. And so, but realizing it's not the end of the world or death, so uh, it can be managed.
Good news.
Yeah,
So just letting it know, I'm going to manage this.
yeah, and there's I have to manage my life. I mean, I am doing it, but there's some parts that I'm, like I said, afraid.
Mhm.
Um, and that's what my wife is kind of upset about. So, um,
Well,
yeah,
is that part of the mix? Yes, please. Yes, please, to managing my life.
yeah,
Like the doctor's saying, you have to be part of have to be involved in here. So what happens is you just let the prostate know, I'm going to manage this. I'm here. I'm here.
Well, I feel expectant calmness, but,
Mhm.
but I can. There's a Maybe there's some things I can do in the morning that I can call on my allies when I wake
Mhm.
up. You know,
Mhm.
'cause lately it's just been kind of poopiness when I wake up, or like, why am I here? And I don't. That's not helpful.
Yeah. So check with the allies because it involves them.
Yeah,
So, hey, you want to be with me in the morning? Or I'd
yeah,
like you to be with me. What's the
yeah.
entry to them? What do you
My management of my life is, I need help. Can you help me in the morning to start my day? Realizing that I can have a good day.
how do they respond to your invitation?
Yes, please.
That's good news.
We are here.
Ah, good to know. That's a great response. Could have been so many other things. So, hey, we are here. Yes, please. At the ready. They're like, we're just waiting for you to ask. Free will, you gotta ask.
Yeah. Oh,
So see if there's anybody, especially with the allies, any final things that they want to convey, knowing it's to be continued, right? You don't need me to do this, and you'll be doing it in the
yeah,
mornings, and this relationship is going to continue to develop. It already has been, but even deeper, yes, please.
yeah.
Any further things they want to communicate, anything that you're noticing. Usually I'll put a title at the end, so anybody have a title for it?
You can put my core of goodness.
Lovely. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I need to really focus on, allowing, uh, telling myself, allowing myself to begin to believe it,
Connecting with.
connecting with it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not believe and make the mind do it, but it's the
yeah,
embodiment that you just did and are so capable of doing. But it does require the practice, and the commitment, and your allies are there. So, your side of it, just come into stillness
yeah.
and say hello and breathe.
Uh-huh. And letting all this crap fall away.
Well, yes, yes, and like what you did, yeah, it might be there, but you meet it. You got your allies, and you see what happens.
Yeah. My allies and me are stronger than you, crap.
Yeah. Ah, well, my whole chest radiating of warmth, energy, right? The heart
Yeah,
just really feels it. Usually my
yeah.
sign that good stuff is happening. So, how's it on your end? Maybe a bow of thanks too to your allies. I sure will do that.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Honored to meet and scribe for you.
grateful. Um, I just looked down and saw this thing that I had written, or that was in this book again, on the core of goodness. Um, it is not any more narcissistic to experience self-love or self-appreciation than it is to appreciate a lovely flower or a spectacular sunset. Mm. What a relief. You are not who you thought you were. Let's remember that. I'm not that crap.
That's right. Or
Yeah.
shame. Yeah. Aw,
Aw.
beautiful inquiry, David.
Hmm. So I need to say, whenever I'm feeling crap, I'm like, oh, crap.
Aw, hi, we're here.
Yeah. My buddies are here. My allies are here.
Yeah, want to come join us?
Yeah.
And everything is consciousness, even crap. Probably not very many people say, "Oh, do you want to come join us?"
Yeah. Okay.
See what it does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We might want to check because I can actually feel that it's coming in at the end for a reason. So
Yeah.
just go back to crap
Okay.
and hi
All right, crap.
and see what happens. Have the allies there.
Yeah. Crap's not so crappy. It's like
Good,
that.
good, good to
It's like that.
know.
Here comes the grump that my grump, that my mom was a grump.
Mm.
Um, I don't have to be so grumpy. And I can change it. I can shift it. I just tell my mind, like, get out of the way.
Oh, let's go back to mind.
Okay.
I'm trusting that it's coming up at the end, right? The things that need to loose
Yeah.
ends, so to speak. So how has it been for you, mind? Thank you. I asked you to kind of step aside. Now you're coming back in, rightfully so. And you saw everything that unfolded here. How is it for you, mind?
It was nice to have a break, to not be worried so much and not being so in control.
Oh, yeah. Hey, notice that, mind. It was nice for you to take a break. Hey, you know what? When he's breathing, you can kind of kick back. You don't have to be on it all the time. You don't have to control.
Yeah.
He's not getting rid of you because we all need the intellect. So it's good you're, checking and stuff, but it's good for you to take a rest every once in a while.
Yeah. You've been, you've been really good at suppressing my feelings and Let's try something different. Let's let the feelings come out.
How does it respond? It's right here. What's it say to you saying, let's try something different?
Okay, I'm game.
Awesome.
If I
Mine is game. Good
yeah,
news.
if
Yeah.
I if it helps your body and your if it helps David feel better and me listen to, then I can do it. Yeah.
The partnership, right? An ongoing, unfolding partnership. Mine's resting more. Mine's okay with this
Mm,
unfolding, and mine's seeing how it benefits it too. Yay.
yeah. Yeah, more of that.
Yeah. Yes, please. There it is.
Yeah.
Oh, stillness, you are welcome here.
Mine wants to know how your foot is.
Oh, yeah, thanks. It's doing okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.